Last thing I ask you is just the idea. Do you think much about being a business person in comedy or as an entertainer, writer, like just as a practice of entrepreneurship? That's the one thing we occasionally weave into is pursuing a passion as a business. And you make your money and off opportunities you create with your mind and the pen. And just that's a special place to grind away at it because you're not selling anything anybody needs. It's not a widget. It's not a carton of eggs.
For sure. I don't bother with that type of thinking. I need what I'm putting out.
Right.
And as a kid, I would like nothing more than TV shows and movies and books and music. For me, there's nothing more valuable than that.
Yeah.
So if like anyone's getting anything out of what I'm putting out, then I'm doing something worthwhile.
Yeah.
But it is a hard, you're like, I'm looking at 40 and being like, am I going to be doing... Because every year is like, I hope I sell something this year, and you get tired of, as a creative, constantly trying to like prove yourself.
Right.
And you're like, I've been grinding at this for 16 years. In any other profession, I'd be like a junior partner or something. But it's still just like, make this new audience laugh with their arms crossed.
Right.
But I couldn't do anything else. If I stopped, I'd go crazy. I have too many like ideas I want to put out there.
Yeah, and I feel that way too. I could never pivot after. I think it's 23 years I've been doing this full time.
Yeah, man.
And no net, and it's like to think of like making a salary or going into the same office every day.
But you know what? I was talking to this guy, John Novosad. He's a comic from Denver. He's in his 50s. He used to go by Hippie Man. He's got long hair. He's here at the festival. He's such a crusher. And, he's been doing it forever. And he lives in Boulder, Colorado. He rides the bus down to Denver to perform every night. He's a killer. But is he a giant comic that everybody knows? No. And he was talking to me today about how lucky we are to have a creative life. And just he's like, look at this, man. We're getting coffee in Grand Rapids. They brought us out here. We're in a nice, fancy hotel. Like, this rules.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, John, this rules. And I think that's sort of the being in the moment and appreciative. Like, he's living a very interesting, creative, funny life.
Yeah.
And he's lucky to be doing it.
Well, and it's kind of the keeping up with the Joneses idea too, because if you never will get any satisfaction if you're always unsatisfied where you're at. But if you rewound your career 10 years and you looked at a young comic today who would kill to have had the opportunities you've had, be on TruTV with those who can't, and have these vehicles and a great writer, and the seasoning that you have as a performer on both sides of your stand-up genres. You would have taken somebody out to be in the position you are right now today.
Dude, that record label, Saddle Creek, was like Bright Eyes, Desaparecidos, Cursive. They're out of Omaha. As a young kid, I worshipped at the altar of that label. I loved them. And I liked them even more because these musicians were making it out of Omaha on their own terms and not going to LA or New York. And I was like, and that planted in me the seed of like, hey, maybe you can make it from your home city and just kind of be where you're from and represent where you're from. You don't have to flee to LA or New York. And then that label just put out my vinyl. I'm the first comic on the label.
Yeah.
And you got to stop and be like, that's cool, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Don't bitch and moan about what you don't have right now. 19-year-old Adam would like be doing cartwheels in the front yard. So yeah, you got to like be appreciative of that.
This Full Exposure podcast episode has been made possible through the support of Metro Health, University of Michigan Health, and Dr. Peter Hahn, who believe that creativity and the arts are essential to a rich, healthy, and fulfilling life.